just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday. Hey guys. Thought we'd try something different this week for the Real Talk Tuesday episode. Me and my bro Ricco had been talking about it for a couple weeks about getting together and doing like a conference call similar to how I do it on the Raw Chat episodes. But for this week, this one would be a conversation for the Real Talk episode. It's a conversation between me, my bro Ricco, and his friend Barry. The two of them are music creators, and all three of us are aspiring online entrepreneurs, continuing to do what we have to do, taking it week by week, working our way towards our goals. But this time it was kind of funny because I did the conference part on my side. So I was trying to figure out how to add people to the call while, on my end to actually then still record it and get us all active and stuff. So that was the first for me, because I know usually when we do the Raw Chat segments, usually my buddy Dave Goldberg gives me a call, and then of course I hit record, and then other drivers that are, a lot of times the drivers are already on a call with him, and so basically he connects with me, I hit record, and then we're connected. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoy, but it's something new we're trying, and hopefully you guys like it.
This call is now being recorded.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I heard it. Did you hear the message, Barry? Yeah, I heard it.
Sweet. Hey, first time doing a conference call here, doing that.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah, learn something new every day, man.
Oh, yeah, so it wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be.
No, it's just, technology. I was like, I don't know how to do this here. Well, glad we finally got to connect or whatever. So Ricco, go ahead and introduce yourself, man, and introduce Barry, since, I just met him.
Well, I'll introduce myself, and I'll let Barry take the floor once I do that. But I just want to say what's going on to everybody listening. I'm Ricco, a.k.a. Fame the Rapper. I am one of Chris's business partners and longtime friends, and it's a pleasure being here today.
It's a pleasure to have you on, man.
Barry?
Yeah, I'm Barry, also known as Bach Gooey. just trying to do my thing, get into the entertainment aspect of, I guess, I don't even know, get into doing podcasts, doing music, trying to tread water, see where where I'll excel at. And so I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, dude, glad to have you on. Of course, I was joking with a friend earlier, another trucker friend that, called me. He's like, hey, 'cause I was telling me about Ricco. I was like, yeah, we've been rescheduled the past few weeks. I don't know, I'm not sure when we're going to connect. Then, of course, he messaged. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I was kind of joking with him that I was like, I don't even remember what Ricco said the podcast was going to be about.
Well, originally, man, we were trying to come up with some ideas and things like that, but ultimately we decided just to keep it mellow like you do with, all the Real Talk episodes and just, play it by ear, basically.
I gotcha. Yeah, not have anything like scripted or whatever, just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, just keep it raw, man. And then maybe the next time we come on, maybe we can all get together and then come up with something specific to talk about if we want, or we could just keep it loose,
Yeah. You guys are both music creators, right?
Yeah. Bach,
cool.
he can speak for himself, but he's one of the artists that I'm really proud to be working with, man. You know what I mean? Very talented guy, from the singing to the rhyming to even production. He's a pretty well-rounded artist.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
Nothing but true.
Man, it's been a blessing working with you because, man, you've brought a lot out with me. I guess, filling in the confidence level just, because, man, the thing about when you create something, and it's weird, too, because, man, I do music for myself, but at the same time, my goal is to actually get people to hear it and kind of relate to what I'm doing. So in a sense, you doubt that, can people relate to what I'm saying? And so it helps knowing that you can do something that people can relate to. And that's one thing you help bring out in people.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. I try. For me, Chris does something similar to that, but on the business side of it, he keeps me going as far as this network marketing thing we're doing, and basically gives me the type of support that you say I give you, man. He's a real good guy, man. He's more like family than he is a friend.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that, man. Well, I mean, not to get all mushy or anything here, man. but when I'm telling people about Ricco, I usually like, yeah, he's pretty much like my best friend, man. The guy I talk to the most, almost, I mean,
well, man, it's been some years now, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. I've had a big circle for a while, and then now lately, the past however many years, I keep my circle pretty small because there's a lot of fake people out there, that they'll literally only when the people that get in your inbox and message you about stuff, but they never want to check out your stuff, so.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like having to distance a little bit from that. Only really keep people in my life that I know aren't just out for themselves,
Yeah. But yeah, man, when we talked once before about some music for your podcast and stuff, man, Bach is the one that came to mind, because it's like I think he could write something that would be real stand out, and I don't know, I think he could write something that would be perfect for what you do, you know what I mean, and it would fit your personality and all that. Not, trying to get nothing started right now or anything, but, just throwing it out there.
I am.
Yeah, we could definitely work on that. You said you're a trucker, right?
Yeah, I'm out here driving for FedEx.
Yeah, man, that's all my buddies seem to be truckers. I used to work at a landfill in Alabama back when I lived in Alabama, and so I met so many. Not much over the road. They were over the road at one point, but the majority of them would work for like Waste Management, Allied Waste. Of course, I think Allied and Allied Waste bought out BFI a long time ago, and so I don't think BFI is still around anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But for the
I
longest
was
part,
over the
that's
road
all
for
I
like
had.
8 years or so, and then back in, I think, it was like 2018, 2019, I tried to come off the road a couple times, but I was hesitant about trying to take local trucking jobs because I had heard horror stories about like, if you drive local, you're gonna have to like go in there and unload the trailers yourself, and you're gonna have to be delivered in the city. Because I mean, when you have a 53-foot trailer, I stay the hell away from like that. Like whenever I was over the road, I had a choice on where I was going. I deliberately would try to stay away from like customers that were in major cities. Like they would send me to Philadelphia to deliver to a customer. You're backing into like those docks that are inside like garages. So you're backing into a black hole. You can't, looking in the mirror, you can't see the dock behind you. You're just like, I'm just taking it slow, and I'm going to feel the dock eventually. But, then plus all the, like, the one-way streets and stuff like that. The same thing when I lived in Nashville. It's like, the handful of times that I'd have to go downtown to actually, like, go to a customer or whatever. Thankfully, a lot of those were like the pup trailers, the short ones. But on occasion, you have to go down there with a full size, and I'm going, what's the best route to get down there? Because I don't want to, like, lose my job, take out a pole or something, but about it was like 2019, I think, I started on with FedEx as the box truck, I was delivering the packages to people's front doors, and kind of got a little confrontation with, like, a Mastiff, somebody's big ass dog that kind of dragged me across their lawn for a little bit. So I was out of commission for a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that.
But then thankfully I was able to switch over to the actual like tractor trailer side and doing what I actually wanted to do in the first place is basically drive. But and FedEx thankfully it's terminal to terminal for line haul and stuff, so I'm not actually like going into town to people's houses and whatnot. I just literally am taking loaded trailers between hubs, and so it's like so much better than over the road because I'm home every day, even though my schedule still sucks. Ricco can tell you about that too. It's like, I come in at like 1 in the morning and I get home like noon, sometimes 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it's like I'm working on trying to change that.
Yeah,
because that kind of sucks. I mean, I'm grateful for it. My job is awesome. It's just not a whole lot as far as like free time and financial freedom. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I don't think I could be a truck driver due to traffic and people. I don't think people really understand and respect, the physics of a truck. 'Cause man, one knowing truck drivers, but then I watch a lot of YouTube as well. And then you got people that just pull out in front of trucks and just cut them off. And it's, the stress involved with that, dealing with the drivers on the road, I think I wouldn't be able to deal with the stress of that. I'd be cussing all day long.
Yep. And because of how there are a lot of good drivers out there as far as car drivers, but there's a lot of bad ones too. But it's the same thing with like truckers. I can't say all truck drivers are good drivers because there's bad ones with us out here too that come climbing out wearing flip flops or whatever. Or you see that they're supposed to climb out of the truck facing the truck, like they call it 3 points of contact. So like have one hand and 2 feet, or 2 hands, or 1 foot and 2 hands. So basically, you always have 3 points of contact when you're climbing in and out of the truck for safety, because otherwise you can lose your grip, slip, and fall. And we're up. I mean, probably at least five or more feet off the ground when you're climbing in. Because we're up high, so it's like you fall and you land on the pavement, you're gonna get hurt.
Yep.
But
don't y'all call them steering wheel holders?
They do. Yep. That's what hell, they'd probably call me steering wheel holder because of the fact that FedEx is mostly automatic trucks now instead of the standard manual transmissions now. But I could still there's there's times where I'll be at a stoplight and I'll start to accelerate and I kind of mimic the shifting, with my right hand, like I'm still shifting, because I could still do it in my sleep. I did it so much that like I could jump back into a truck with a manual transmission and I could drive it. I like the manual or the automatics anyway, because it's just so much easier. You don't have to worry about when you're stuck in traffic on a hill. It's got hill assist where it doesn't let your truck roll backwards if you let off the brake. So It makes things a little bit easier so that less accidents out here. But now the issue that they're dealing with, because a lot of us work nights, is like we get those messages from our the contractor that we're employed with. It's like, oh, we had another driver that fell asleep at the wheel yesterday and went off the road. Thankfully they're fine, but the truck it has sustained a lot of damage. And I'm like, yeah, because most of there is daytime stuff, but a lot of us are doing the overnight crap, and it's tough. It's like I kind of had to put my foot down at home a little bit, with the fan, with my wife especially, because of course they want to hang out and I want to hang out too, but I'm like, I have to sleep. Like I have to get to bed by a certain time, get a certain amount of sleep, so that way I know I can function out here. Because I want to retire myself and not retire myself medically because I kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, it would. I started on a manual. I learned, and then I for about so many years, and I lived in New Orleans before Katrina hit, and the traffic there, dealing with the standard transmission made me be like, my next vehicle is going to be an automatic, because that stop and go traffic and then being on a hill, having to play with the clutch and the gas, and it's like
having to do what they call feather the clutch, where you're having to let off a little bit so you can keep that momentum a little bit. You're not going to roll backwards, but you can't let off enough to where you're going to take off forward.
Yep. And so I
never learned the driver's stick, man. Just automatic for me. Yep, just automatic.
Yep. You don't have to worry about anything, man. Just get those electric bike, electric scooter, and you're all set.
Yep. I'd like to get me an electric bike. Them things actually seem pretty cool. You can pedal, but at the same time, it's helped. It's doing the work, but you can pedal as well. That actually seems pretty cool if that's what you're talking about.
Yep. Because I got
Chris actually got him and his family a few.
That's
I
awesome.
might buy another one, man. The guy, the manager at Rent Center, he pretty much knows me by name now because I've been in there so much. He has one of those little smaller ones, the little city ones that fold.
Oh,
and,
okay.
He had, I guess, two of them, but he had a coworker, I guess, that had his car broke down or something. So for like the last 6 months, I guess he's been riding this e-bike to work or whatever. And so he called me up the other day. He goes, "Hey, so this is not Rent Center selling it to you, but I have a bike that I had a coworker riding it. He no longer needs it, whatever. I'd probably let it go for like, because at first I was like, so what are we talking, like $30 a week?" And the other one goes, no, this is it. Rent Center. This is me personally. I probably let it go for like $250, and I'm like, really? I'm like, well, I don't have $250 at the moment to give you, but I would, I'm definitely interested. Can I come check it out this afternoon after I take my kid to their interview? And he's like, yeah, sure. So we came in, and literally I was like, can we take it out in the parking lot and ride it for a second? I was like, obviously if we disappear, you have my address, you know where I live. So he's like, yeah, I have no problem. But I told him, like, hey, give me like 2 weeks, I might, because it's like low to the ground and stuff, and I was like, can I ride it, or is it like not fit for a big guy? He's a big guy too, but he climbed on it, rode it around the store. I was like, okay, so I could probably ride it at least, a little bit, because I'm 350, so.
What was did he say what the weight limit was for it?
He didn't say, and I don't think he probably doesn't even know, but I think he's like 75 or 80 pounds lighter than I am, but, it's like the bike I technically ride as my own at home. I don't think technically I probably shouldn't be riding it because how big, being a big guy and stuff, but it handles me just fine. I just make sure the tire pressure's up there, make sure it's good, whatever, and I buying the different tools. I'm trying to learn and do the any repairs on myself, like tightening this and that up, but yeah,
Yeah, the reason I asked is because you remember the little scooter that I had. I found out that that they are kind of weight specific, and even though they'll still run with that if you're a little heavier than what the bike supports, it'll just kill the battery a little faster. It makes it work harder. Yeah, so that's the only thing. So when I get mine,
that might be why
I'm
I get about I think I get about 10 or 12 miles on the, cause, you know, you're hoping that they get like 20, but on mine, I think as long as I stop around by the time I'm at like 10 miles, I think I've gotten to like 11 and a half when I was rounding the last curve to go down the hill towards our house, and all of a sudden I got to the top of the hill, battery starts flashing. I was like, oh shit. So I literally rounded the corner, went down the hill.
That may be why.
So it's like,
when I get the one that I'm gonna get, man, I'm gonna get the one. It's a little heavier than probably what I need, but I figure that the battery will last longer.
Yeah. It's
so
one of the bigger ones too, with the big old fat tires and stuff.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm looking at one of those too. That's like, I think on TikTok for like 600, like half off the normal price, but it's like 400-pound payload, and you get up to like 35 miles. And I was like, oh, I want that one. Because I was like, you, man, I'll pedal, but I'd rather not pedal. I'd rather climb the hill and be like, hey! But my bike,
I'll be pedaling downhill.
I'm not pedaling downhill. I'm cruising, man. I'm just like, woo!
Pedaling downhill. Got to move my legs a little bit. But no, I think the average weight for them were 400 pounds, because I actually looked them up last Saturday. Me and my family, matter of fact, my daughter and my wife is at a basketball clinic right now. But we went last weekend. We were sitting down to eat, and we got to talking about it, because I seen somebody cruising on one, just lightly pedaling. Looked like he was having a good time on one. I was like, man, that would be nice to have. Looked it up. The average weight on the majority of them were 400 pounds, but they got some that actually has it looks like a little trailer connected to it. And it's actually all in one. Them look pretty sweet. Now, of course, that would carry a little bit more, but the average just regular one's 400, because they got different, I guess, power. Like some of them got 250, and the other ones go like 1200. Yeah.
Yeah, they got different battery sizes. And so, I can't remember the one that they always suggest if you're gonna be like me and try to do, like, you know, the 10 to 20 mile thing and all that shit. They said one of the batteries was better than the other, but I can't remember which. So it's basically like a double sized battery, I guess.
Yeah, and that'd be the price range, because they got some anywhere between like $1,000 to $2,000 that'll take you a long distance. You to that 20-mile mark you talking about.
Yeah, now see, that's the one I was looking at before, and I was joking with Chris, and I told him that when I got it, I was gonna hop on the highway and come on down there to see him. But when I looked it up, I would have to stop and charge up. I think it was, how many miles was it, Chris? Like every 23 miles or something?
Yeah, charge it for a couple hours.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they say they get up, 15, 20 miles an hour? 25?
Some of them go up to 35 and 40.
Yep. And see, the funny thing is about where we live is like we're literally on an area with a shit ton of hills. Like, I wish it was more flat, because then I probably wouldn't pedal that much at all. But there's some hills that I start to climb up, and you can hear it dog down really bad. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh crap, start pedaling. Once I hit that 10 miles an hour, it's still dropping. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pedal a little bit, because it'll, like, on a full charge, I can pedal very casually, like just not even have to pedal really hard as we're climbing the hill, and that'll get me up the hill still going 10 or 12 miles an hour. But, you know, we get to that certain point where me and my daughter are cruising around town or whatever, trying to find different routes we can go, because we don't want to drive or ride on the actual, like, road itself, because a lot of the roads, they have a shoulder, but they don't really have bike paths too much. Some of them do. So we're doing sidewalks and using crosswalks to cross the street, you know, and doing that and stuff. But, and there's a park nearby, and we've gone out there, but she's kind of got used to, we get to a certain point, she goes, what's your battery at? so we know that I can actually make it back home. I'm like, I'm at 1 bar. She goes, okay, we better go.
Yep, I did a mile test on my little old scooter, man. It made a good distance, but I ended up pushing it back home 'cause I tried to take this really big ass hill, and it worked out. I made it to the top, but as soon as I got to the top, it shut off on me. Yep.
So,
Yep.
So
does it pedal like a regular bike?
Got to get an e-bike. Nah, it's a e-scooter. I'll send you a picture of it when we get off the call. But I got it out of a shed from a house that I was doing a remodel for, and the people just had left a bunch of stuff in there, and so I got the scooter, and my homeboy, he got them tools that they had, and the scooter, like I said, it works pretty good. I'm gonna actually give it to my granddaughter when I get my e-bike. 'Cause it's much better suited for a smaller person, but a big person can ride it, but the battery just doesn't last as long with a big person on it.
Is that one of the ones you stand on, or does it have the seat on it?
No, it's the seat. I sent you the picture of it. It's the little blue one.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that little blue scooter. That was an electric scooter. And like I say, it gets me around, but I just can't take any heels on it. And if I keep it in third gear for too long, it'll definitely kill the battery a lot faster.
I am.
But the e-bikes, so like if your battery goes dead, can you use it just like a regular bike?
Yeah.
But the only problem
But
with
it's
them, though,
harder
is
to
like,
pedal.
yeah, because if you like you can, and I was like when we got our first two bikes from Rent-A-Center. It's funny, when you go in somewhere with your other half, and of course, like we're going in there to talk to them about like a dining room table, and when you go shopping with your other half, all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, look at this, oh shit.
Yeah, you can be there forever.
So it's like, oh look, they got a couple bikes over here. I'm like, I wasn't thinking, I was like, no, I don't. Why do we need e-bikes for or whatever? But we looked at them and it was like, okay, like the guy was like, for these two black ones, I'm doing a deal for you guys, buy one get one, because one of them doesn't work. Like it quit working like 2 weeks ago. We're not sure what's wrong with it. And I was like, huh. So if I buy get the one black one, pay $30 a week for that one, I get the other one for free. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, when did it quit working? He's like, 2 weeks ago. I'm like what happened? Like, was it being used at the time, or no? Just quit charging. Like we plug it in, but it doesn't. I said, huh, okay. I said, yeah, I'll take it. I'll see if I can get it working. I figured it's probably a battery, which that's what it turned out to. There's a couple other things I've had to like tighten up or, like kind of fix. I had to put new pedals on it because I had to fold the pedals that little plastic ones that fold in the middle. And for me being, as big a guy as I am, like it didn't take me long before one of the pedals broke in half because I was like, you try to stand up on a pedal, it's plastic not meant for, and it's like, oh fuck. So I got these metal pedals on it now, but I got it running. But then now I got a white one that has a basket on the front that my daughter claims because it's more of a women's bike, but it's still an e-bike. So she claimed that one has a little basket in the front with a little this little mesh cover that you can you fasten to close the top so you can put stuff in it, not have it fly out. And it's got the little kind of like a rack on the back of it that has a little metal spring flap that you can put something back there like a little bag and put the little flap, lift it up, put it underneath the flap and hold it down. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool, But and then looking at the little one, I'm possibly gonna buy from him and stuff, and then get my big one that I'm looking at off TikTok eventually. We're gonna have like 5 or 6 bikes. I'm like, I don't care, better to have too many.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably looking to get one in the future.
I'll probably get mine at the end of next month.
But I
probably won't ride it until it gets warm again.
Yeah. But if
yeah,
you have
it's about to start snowing up
pedaling
here.
is just, it's a real pain in the ass to try to pedal them when they're turned off. I thought before I got the battery for mine, I hopped on it and I was like, cool, I got the pedals on it, I'm good. I got on it, I started trying to pedal just around my house, just around that area, and I was like, holy crap. I pedaled, but I was working it, man. I was like, I think there's something wrong with my bike.
Now, you might not have the one that you're supposed to pedal when you go dead, because I know they said that some of them are made so that if your battery dies, you can actually start pedaling and it'll slowly charge your battery. it won't charge it, efficiently, but it'll start to charge it again, depending on how far you got to go,
I don't know
And
if we have
then
one
some
of
of them they'll pedal, but it'll be really, really hard because they're really not intended to.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I was able to
I'm
move
gonna
around,
try
but
not
it was
to be
like
pedaling that much though.
Well, what I'm thinking about doing with mine is, I want to upgrade it anyway because some bikes have dual motor on both tires. I want to upgrade mine to have one on the front and back, so that way if I'm climbing a hill, I can, engage the second motor to climb up a little better. But
Yep.
that's going to be a little bit expensive. So my plan is right now, in the meantime, is to at least buy a second battery with another pouch so that I can put it on the bar. The bar is between your legs or whatever, and I'll Velcro it to that, and I'll have it'll be a backup. So that way, if we get to the 10, 12 mile mark, and the battery's at one bar and getting ready to die, I can be like, hey, I'm going to switch it over, and we have another 10 miles we could go,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that would be a good one. Probably hook up multiple ones, get you a little thing on the back. Have a whole bunch of them, then you get take off with it. We got a good little
Chris,
area to ride. I know a lot of people drive around in golf carts and stuff here.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, I used to have a golf cart. I used to love that.
They've actually made those. They've adjusted the laws, I guess, out near where we live or whatever. Now it's legal to drive golf carts and 4-wheelers and stuff and bikes around the city. And I was like, cool, all right. We were doing that anyway, but hey.
Yeah. But you can't. It's
hey,
not.
Chris,
I don't think
did you
it's
do
legal here.
your story time for this week?
What's up?
Your story time. Did you do the story for this week?
Not for this week. I've been got to get back into that. I was thinking about actually the last couple of weekends. I'm like, I should get another story. Get the stories going again.
Yeah, you really should, man. Let me see. I want to say the one where I think you're in a cabin or something, or y'all on some type of trip or something. I can't remember now, man, but it was a good one.
Do you remember what happened in the story? Is that might narrow it down for me a little bit?
I know it was the characters were, I think if I remember correctly, man, the characters were based on y'all, kind of loosely based on y'all, and it was a like a family trip or something like that, or a family outing. Man, I can't remember.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stories. I kind of think I know which one you're talking about, but because I think I did a couple that were in cabin related. One where there's ghosts involved and stuff, or hauntings.
So are these stories one you make up, you read, or like a part of your life?
Yeah, because my goal is to be just like with the podcast, I'm hoping to be figure out how to monetize it at some point.
I've been thinking about writing creepypasta stuff. Like I'm working on a book, but I love I get on YouTube and I like listening to the scary stories. Here recently, I've been listening to ones to where they talk about where they got to have rules. There's 5 weird rules. Like don't if the power goes out, run and hide in the bathroom until the baby stops crying and stuff like that.
Well, it's funny because some of the stories I did, because I with my schedule with time limitations, I did probably for 2 months where I called them freestyle stories, where I didn't actually get a chance to write them. I just hit record and I just came up with a story. And what I enjoyed about those is when you're telling a story without actually reading what you wrote, you get a lot more into the sound effects, where somebody I think one of the characters walking through a forest or something, being lost, and they hear somebody get out. They're like, oh my God!
Yep.
So it's you kind of get that, I guess I'm probably more of the horror story genre myself, because it's just easy. It's so much easier just to come up with scary stories that have like just random messed up. They'd be like from Ricco, like coming up with stories like that, Be like,
yeah, I was trying to get Bach to get into From. I don't think he checked it out yet though.
Well, when I listened to it, I listened to I went back and listened to all the Raw stuff. I was like, well, let's check out and see what he's. You talking about his on Spotify, right?
Well, no, just then we were talking about the series From, the little horror series called From, and I had told you to check it out when we were talking about shows one day.
I got you, yeah. Yeah, I still haven't been able to check it out. I don't think I found it yet.
I think it's on Netflix. No, it's MGM, I think, is what I was
It's
on, but I don't know.
Prime, ain't it?
I think they might have
I think it is
here.
Prime. Yeah, I think it is Prime. Because I've been sick, and I normally don't watch stuff unless I'm sick. But, man, I went through, what is it, Tubi? Pluto? I got both of them. I just went through watching a bunch of horror movies. Famous Jackson, a whole bunch of them off. And then I finally found a show that I watched a little movie or clips from on YouTube called Fargo. And I've been watching that. I haven't actually seen that. It's been pretty good.
Okay.
But most times, if I'm not working on music or writing, if I get free time, I spend it playing video games. Or, if kid's home, we'll go do basketball or something. But my kid likes video gaming, so when she gets done with her chores, done with her homework, we'll play Roblox.
Cool.
But yeah, I like games, but most times, try to do music. Me and Fame's trying to get music out and about, and so if I got writer's block, I try to make beats. Can't make beats, try to write on a book, can't write book, then it's just trying to figure out where to spend that time. I like being creative and building. And I don't know if y'all play video games, but like games like Fallout 4 or Project Zomboid, I like building stuff to where like you can create stuff. And like Fallout 4, I'll build big old settlements and stuff, have people working. And so I do enjoy that. Like I enjoy building, like being creative. And so like I play games to where you can put cities together and build settlements, or I got to be able to do something. So that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, now I do play video games, mostly on my phone nowadays for for money. We were talking about that the other day. But when I was playing on the consoles, I never really got into the games with building, and I think it's probably because that's what I do for a living. So it's like I can't do that all day and then come home and get on the game and do it too,
Yep, I got you. That's funny.
Yeah, so I play games, and they have to have a lot for me to do to keep me engaged. So, like missions, going to find something, retrieve something, kill somebody, beat whatever it is. I have to have a lot of it in that game. I can't just play like simple games. So, it's always going to be some type of quest or something involved in the games that I play.
I got you. I like simple games. It's funny you say that because my daughter loves games that deal with music. There's a different game she play that actually has it to where music. I think there's one where you got My Singing Monsters, and you got some other things to where if you put them together, they make different sounds. I forget what they're called, but you pull like one person and they'll be it's basically beatboxing. And I try to tell her, she tries to get me into that. I'm like, look, I spend all day long putting music together in some type of fashion. So when I'm playing a game, it's not fun for me to go back, and especially if, it's just because basically all the games is basically like arranging samples together. Like they already got the, doom, 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 doom.
Is it similar to, it was a game
Sprunkies
that
is the
they
name.
had on PlayStation 2 that was basically, it was basically a DAW, man. It sounds a lot like what you're talking about.
No, it wasn't. It's not that. It's basically like so basically the My Singing Monsters is you take and you just like each little monster or whatever, you know, each of them's got a name, but each of them's got a sound. Like one sound would be, all right, and then so you put that on there, and then you have another one you bring in like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so basically it's like taking nothing but samples and arranging certain samples to sound good. Like in the Sprunky thing that she does, it's basically just taking samples and arranging. And I think that's why she does so good making beats in BandLab with samples. Like she's still got to learn for creating beats from scratch, cause she's got to learn about the beats per minute and everything else. But, she actually does really good creating beats using the samples from BandLab. Cause you know, BandLab has got to where you just click on it and it's got a whole bunch of, like it arranges them in packs. People have like sample packs. You go in there and each one it'll have, well, these samples are from this key with this beats per minute. And you basically just search your beats per minute in your key and then you find out, well, okay, this goes together, this goes together. And so she can do that. And that's basically all these games are, is just taking sample sounds and then putting them in point A, B, and C to go together. And all it does is it just creates a loop. So, you know, when you place the little monsters or the people into the spot, it creates like a 4 to 8 bar loop to where it's just and you know what I'm saying? And so she's basically just putting in sample sounds to make a loop. But then they also make faces while they're doing it too. And so it's just, you know, for kids, you know, it's just something for them to see and, which, you know, it gets them into music. So I'm happy about that. But like, for me, I'm with you on that. It's like, you know, this is what I do, coming here and just, with it being so simple, I'm just sitting here putting samples into a slot, making a 4 bar loop, and that's it. You know, and I'll still do it with her just because, you know, I want to spend time with her and everything. But
Oh yeah.
for me, it's like I'm not really getting to where it's like if I get on Fallout 4, and then since I don't do construction work anymore, because I used to do construction work, like I love building stuff. I love working with my hands. I used to build trusses. I put together U-Haul trucks. I've operated heavy equipment. And so, I miss a lot of that. So like, I'll give you an example. There's a game called Farming Simulator. And I love playing that game, especially getting in like a front end loader, because you go up there, remember on the right side, you had 2 little levers that adjusted the bucket and, you know, your arm is going up. And so you pull back on it and it'd bring the arm up. And then if you pull back on the right lever, it would tilt the bucket back, like up in the air. And that's how the controls was on the game. So when you went to control it, you push down on the analog stick and then the bucket and the arm would pick up. I'm like, oh man, I used to do this back in the day. And so, which is weird. We play games working, you know, and that's so weird. Like they got being a truck driver, they got simulators on being a truck driver and stuff. And being a train conductor, I mean, there's so much to it, but I ain't gonna lie, I do like, driving trucks and get like when Grand Theft Auto, when we found out you could steal the trucks and go drive them things, that was really fun. Because backing them up, you being a truck driver and backing up trailers, you know it's different than just backing a car up, man. If you want it to go left, you got to kick it right, and so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, that's why I say drive the trailer, not the truck, because you know you can't take a turn the way you normally would.
Yeah.
Because you know, take out the pole or whatever's on the corner.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing people got to understand, man. When you're in a turning lane, don't drive out forward, man. Make sure you're behind that line where you're supposed to be. That way you actually do give truck drivers where they can come out, because they got to drive out and then turn. And so it's like I said, I couldn't be a truck driver because of traffic, man, the way people drive.
Yep. Well, hell, just yesterday when I got home, like we turn off of Interstate 70 onto our street that goes down towards where we turn to go to our house, like a street called like Buckner or Tarsney. And there's two left turns lane, or 2 left lanes to turn. And you know how it is, like if there's 2 lanes to turn into, if you're in the far left lane, you turn into the left lane, and the right lane you turn into the far right lane. But there's a lot of drivers that are freaking idiots, I guess. Try to not call him too bad, but but literally I'm in the left lane and I'm turning, and this guy's beside me, and he literally forced me into the turn lane to get back on the interstate because he turned from the right lane into my lane, and I saw him doing it, and I was literally like as soon as I had kind of like made my way over, and I had to stop and put my signal back on to get over back in the correct lane, and I looked at him like with my hands up in the air like, dude, what the hell? He just shrugged and kept going, and I was like, this is why there's so many accidents, because people like you just turn from the right lane into the left lane and hit another car. Like you would have been at fault, so I would have, but it's just like, oh man, what the hell?
People are idiots, man.
Yep.
The lack of common sense or just the care. I haven't figured out what it is. That's got people the way it is nowadays. Lack of common sense, lack of common courtesy.
A lack of everything.
Yeah, like I like to be observant. And so, pay attention. Like one thing, my daughter's only 9, but I still, when I do stuff, I try to teach her and explain to her why I'm doing stuff. Like when I'm driving, I'm always looking in my mirrors, rear view mirror, left mirror, right mirror. I'm always,
Yep.
paying attention and stuff. And then I describe that to her. Like my daughter's 9 and she walks to the bus stop right down the street and she still looks both ways when she walks out our driveway, even though we do live kind of on a dead road, where not many people drive down it. But I'm still glad that she still looks both ways. She still does what she's supposed to do. Cause, there's a lot of kids out there at the bus stop she goes to. As soon as they get off the bus, they just haul butt into the middle of the road and take off running.
Yeah.
And then you got the parents chasing them down the street like, hey. And so,
Yep.
yeah, it's just dangerous because nowadays a lot of times people don't even stop at stop signs anymore. So many people run that stop sign right by that, because we live in an area that's kind of where we live in a neighborhood that's kind of in the middle between 2 busy main roads on the outskirts of the neighborhood. So people will cut through the neighborhood to get from one busy street to the other busy street. Like we even got signs all over every street you can turn into, like people are not allowed. It says, hey, between X, Y, and Z time, you're not allowed to turn in this, on these roads. And man, people will do them cut roads, and the main road to cut is basically where the bus stop is, like the B part. Like say A is where you turn off a Pontiac Trail and then go to get to I forget the other name of the main road. That bus stop's right there, B, and man, people will be hauling butt down that road and run the stop sign. And so, man, it scares me just because, man, there's a lot of kids at them bus stops and people are doing 40, 50 miles an hour just running them stop signs, especially where the bus stops are. Man, that scares me to the fact that the adults don't pay attention, kids ain't paying attention. Thank God nobody's been hit, but man, I dread the thought of it.
Yeah, that'll be a bad thing, man. I've actually seen a couple of accidents like that where a little child got hit, and it is not a sight that you want to see.
No, it's not. Every life is important, but man, it's just thinking about a kid getting hurt is just so much worse. I mean, life is precious altogether, but it's something about something happening to a kid makes everything a million times worse,
Well,
man,
one of the sad things about today's world now is like me and my wife, we literally kind of teach our kids and now our grandkid, but he's only 6. But we kind of teach them that, and I think you and I had talked about it too, Ricco, where you got to kind of like expect the worst from other people, which kind of sucks. Like you literally will come up on people and be like, you got to expect that they're gonna do something stupid. Because that's just what happens. They do something. They don't stop at the red light. Hell, there'll be at least daily, once or twice a day. I'll be coming to a stoplight, and as I'm coming to the stoplight, I'll be looking at my passenger side mirror, and there's a dump truck that literally, it's red. I'm stopped. He flies through the intersection. And I honk the horn, I blast the air horn as he passes me or whatever. And it's like, dude, did you not see the red light? What the hell, you know? But it's like, you know, sadly that's, and then you end up at the same stoplight down the road, you know?
Yep.
It's like,
that's the funny part too. That's the funny part when you can actually pull up next to somebody who hauled butt. 'Cause I remember one time you got 2 lanes, right, and it's during traffic, and then you got the left little, I don't know what it's called, I guess the turning lane. You know how they have like 4 lanes on the left and right, and then one in the middle, so you can each person can turn off into the and then so you got some dude hauling butt passing everybody to through that little lane and pass up there. When you finally get to the stoplight, you get to look over at the person who did all that crazy stuff, and y'all are at the same point at one point, and you get to just look at them. It's so funny. I had it happen one time, just once, but it made me think about it. Like I sit there looking at them laughing, and it's so funny. It was weird though, because they were on their phone talking and wasn't paying attention to me, but to me, I had a good, I was like laughing. I had a good time out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why cameras now are such an important thing. I've got gave my daughter a car that belonged to my grandparents, like a '95 Buick Park Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
My parents had it for a while, and then of course probably about a year and a half, 2 years back, they called my mom kind of messaged me and was like, hey, we have this we have Grandpa's old car, that's not being driven anymore. We're probably going to donate it if nobody wants it, but, do you want the car? And I was like, sure. I was like, oh, the Buick? Hell yeah. I was like, I'll take it, because, one of the kids will drive it or whatever, or I'll keep it, whatever, And so she's got all her little, different fancy lights all set up inside, the neon lights and whatever. You know how teenagers fancy up their cars. But I have a freaking dash cam in that car that turns on whenever she flips the little, because of course she has to turn everything off when she parks it, because 95, the outlets don't automatically shut off like the newer cars now.
Yeah. Nope.
So if she leaves it on, it's dead within a week. So it's like, if she was driving or whatever. But I have that plugged in, so she turns all her shit on or whatever, and the camera comes on or whatever. And there's been at least one occasion where when I drove that car when we first moved up here to Missouri, I drove that car to the DMV trying to switch my license over, and literally I'm coming down this 4-lane road, and this guy just walks casually across the street, and I saw him, of course, being the defensive driver. I saw him slowly walk into my lane and then stand there and turn towards me and look at me. I'm coming at him going 50 miles an hour. So I slow down to 10 or 15, and he kind of just then turns and keeps walking, and I'm literally I got that on camera.
Yeah.
It's I was like, dude, you realize that I could have legally hit you, and I wouldn't have gotten in trouble for that, because literally you're walking into a public street, public highway, and I've also got you on camera, and yeah, I would have probably gotten some flack, and maybe they would have tried to take me to court on it or something, or charge me, but I would be like, yeah, but he deliberately walked in front of me. I didn't have any, I wasn't required to stop, or there was no stop sign, no nothing. It was just literally a 50-mile-an-hour highway, and, but of course I'm not just going to hit him, because then I know that that would be with me for, but it's like, dude, what the hell, and I showed my kids that video, and they're like, what the heck, did he just stop and look at you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's what I'm saying, man, you got to expect the worst from people.
People try to get paid nowadays. I was watching one thing where somebody was pulling, because I'd like to get a dash cam, because I had another experience that was crazy. But I was watching one where a chick, it was kind of I can't remember if it was a roundabout or just a right turn, but a chick run out and did the car stopped, and the chick jumped on the car hood and it hit the ground, and and then somebody else run out and the dude had to take off because it was a setup. They were trying to get insurance, money from them and stuff. And so apparently people are out there putting their life at risk to try to get hit by a car to get paid from it. Like that's crazy. But I want one. So the other day, well, it's actually a couple months ago, maybe like 2 months ago. So in our neighborhood, we have a place for people to walk. And I guess for people to ride bikes and stuff too, right? So I'm trying to make a left into my neighborhood turn, and I didn't see nothing at all. And as soon as I'm turning, a dirt bike come hauling butt down where people walk down the road. And you know how, it's got this. So apparently I almost hit a dude on a dirt bike because, when I turned, it didn't see nobody. And you got a dirt bike. He was gunning it, and he come from out of nowhere. And I literally almost hit this dude on a dirt bike because he was doing dirt bike stuff on the little area where people are supposed to walk right by the road. And man, it scared the shit out of me. But dude, turning and hit, he wouldn't have died more than likely, but he'd have got hurt. But then also I would have had to deal with the thought of hitting somebody. And man, that scared the shit out of me. But, yeah, dude, it's, people, go back to what we said, people are idiots, man.
I mean, some of the advertisements for those dash cams literally show, like if you see, like I see them on TikTok all the time, where it shows cars going down the road, and it shows a car cut this other car off and stop, and then you see the reverse lights come on, and they literally back into the front of the car. But of course, this person has a camera watching them. And they're like, oh, my God, what do they do? What do they click? Smash.
Yeah.
And then they get out of their car, they grab their neck and walk around. Oh, my God. Oh, they point at the car. They start taking photos with their phone. But then one of them all of a sudden catches a glimpse of the camera in the windshield. And, oh, shit.
Yep.
It's like, got you on camera, man. Because, of course, you got the license plate and everything on camera, too. So it's like nowadays I need one in my personal vehicle, my Silverado or whatever, but like I got the other two cars. Because I want to get one that has the front and the back. I want to put one in the back window as well as the front window.
Yeah.
So that way I have the rear and the front, but I don't want to have to take it off and charge it. So I'm trying to figure something out with set one up that's somehow still wired, but it's not like I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out yet. Probably Velcro the cable around the ceiling to around above the door, back into the back window or whatever, and that way you can have it plugged in and running full, 24/7, and not having to worry about it. But because I don't want to be like, oh shit, my camera died.
Yeah, you figure they'd be able to have that hooked up to some power source in a vehicle somehow.
Well, yeah,
I know they got some that I seen one, I guess, an advertisement for it. It hooks into basically it kind of attaches to your rear view mirror. It's got one that, shows basically the outside the windshield, but then it also has one for showing, towards you, basically showing the backside, the inside of the car. So it's kind of got a, front and back. I mean, of course, it can see out if it's, if ain't nothing blocking and it's big enough, it can see out the back too, but it also has to, if somebody tries to say you're on your cell phone while you're driving and that's why you got in a wreck, you can prove that you wasn't, if you wasn't on your phone. And so that looked pretty cool. It was actually pretty.
Kind of shit out of luck.
Yeah. But I try to stay off my phone, cause trying to, show my daughter, cause she's going to be 16 at one point and she's going to have a phone. And then, them kids, they love text messaging.
Yeah, my wife did a teaching moment with my kids the other day. I think I don't know where they were going, but they got to I think they were halfway there and they hit traffic and somebody, it's a couple of cars cut in and there was an accident up ahead and one car cut in, literally slammed on the brakes and blocked the entire road to go up and try to help, which is commendable, But when the way they did it, my wife almost hit him, and she got stopped, and she literally looked at the kids, and she goes, "See, if we were on our phone, we would have gotten in a bad wreck."
Yep.
They were like, "Oh." So it's like, yeah, that's why we're all about phone mounts and, having it in the truck. And here I can't, as we got we got a camera facing forward and facing back. So like, I'm being recorded in the cab as well as the front. So like, as long as I don't physically have my phone in my hand, then I'm good. I'm not, But obviously I get dinged if all of a sudden I pick that up. It'll be keep your eyes on the road. Oh shit.
That's funny.
So it's like,
that's funny. Yeah, but a lot of things you do, like, you can holler at Siri and have them text for you, make calls. As long as your phone's open, they'll open up apps in your phone. And so nowadays, you can actually get everything done hands-free from your phone, as long as it's, kind of up to date.
well,
We always wait a couple of years before we get a new phone.
Yeah, that's why 95% of how I communicate when I'm working is voice clips, because I can just reach over and tap the record button and not have to actually even be looking at it while I'm mentioning a clip. I just hit send really quick and I'm not typing,
Yeah.
It's like so much easier.
Fame's done got me to where I send voice messages. I used to text everything through Facebook and everything else, but then ever since I've been talking to Fame does it, so now it's weird. So I don't really text much anymore. I just send voice messages. And for some reason, a lot of people would rather read than listen to voice messages.
Easier.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like, it's less likely that you're not going to understand what somebody's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they could.
But you do have a few people that still misunderstand.
Yeah, you said it. You said such and such. Oh, I meant this. That's what I meant, though.
Now that's what kills me when people say that. Well, if that's what you meant, why isn't that what you said?
Yeah, like you typed this, but this is totally not what you were meaning to say. But it's like I try to do voice clip with my my parents. They're up there, mid-70s or whatever. Even it like the text messages nowadays, it's like I like the feature that actually has noise cancellation. So I could do a voice clip on a regular text message, and it'll sound like there's no background whatever out here in the truck because it cancels all that. Like I'm like, that's cool. But I'll do a voice message to my parents, even they'll be like, yeah, I couldn't quite understand what you were saying, kind of sound a little muffled. And I'm like, I listen to it, I can hear me just fine. And I'm like, I don't understand why it's so bad for you, because I play it back myself and I catch everything. Everything sounds clear to me. Like, maybe it's because you have an iPhone? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I used to be, I got an iPhone, and because I done got so much money into all the other stuff, I'm going to stick with Apple. But, man, I haven't been a big fan of Apple stuff in a while, especially when they switch to the dongle to where you don't have a headphone plug-in anymore.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
I'm slowly losing.
Most of the phone companies got rid of the plug-in jack for the headphones. Most cell phone companies got rid of it. It's very rare to find it now.
Well, it's weird. It's kind of like, everybody's going to use headphones and stuff. And so it's like, in most, except for the Apple products, majority of any headphones that I go to, like gaming or not, so like I'll give you an example. So I do my music through my phone on BandLab. So, I make the music, I record the music, and so I use my Xbox gaming headset to record as well as listen to everything. And it's a regular plug-in thing. So I had to go buy a connector for the iPhone just to be able to plug in a headset. But also before they switched to the dongle, all the headsets previous to that, the ones with the little earbuds with a little mic on the wire, was normal headsets. Like, so what's the point of changing? Like, the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so then, so now you have to have a headset specifically for your iPhone, and then you have to have headsets for everything else. So it's kind of like, why why make somebody have to buy another product? So I have to go either buy a connector for my iPhone, or I have to buy a headset specifically for my iPhone to use the headset, to whereas beforehand I could just use whatever headset. Like right now I'm using my headset that I do for my recording and everything else. I have it connected to the connector to my iPhone. So it's kind of like, what was the point in them? Because then all they have to do is they have to change the design and make a newer product instead of using the same one that they was using.
More money,
Well, because
make more money.
now they can charge you again. You know what I mean? They figured out the perfect way to repeatedly keep charging their users over and over again. And, you know, once you fall in love with the iPhone or you decide that's what you're using, you have made a decision that you're going to either, you know, stick with what you got when you buy it, or you're going to upgrade and you're going to get the special connectors and you're going to keep doing all this and that, and you're going to upgrade those when you need to. It's just a way for them to make the customers keep spending money.
And the connectors ain't even cheap. I got a Belkin brand right here. It's not even the Apple brand, and the connector's like $30-$40, not even Apple brand. And so it's like, that's stupid expensive. And the only thing it is it has a place for you to hook your charger into and your headphones. So basically this little connector, which is almost $40, all it is basically, it's got the dongle for the iPhone, and you got to come down here and you basically can plug your lightning cord into it and your headphones jack. And so it's like, it's been, you know, and half the stuff nowadays don't even last long, man. You know, back in the day, I'll give you an example. Fame, you used to play old school games. I still have my PlayStation 1 with my PlayStation controllers. So this was back before I even graduated high school. So you're looking back in the 1990s. Close to 2000s. My PlayStation 1 with the controllers and the games still work. I know it works because I'll play it every now and again just to have some nostalgia for it. Like Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII was on the PlayStation 1. I love Final Fantasy VIII. Every now and again I'll play it. And so that stuff still works. You buy an Xbox controller, which is $60 or better, and they only last for like 3 or 4 months before they break, and you either gotta replace it or know how to fix it yourself. Like that.
Yep.
The products nowadays are just not what they used to be. The fact that I got a PlayStation 1 and the controllers from way back then still work with no issues, no stick drift, no buttons still work. I mean, geez, that's quality work compared to, like, I'll give you an example. I had a 1992 Honda Accord. Back when I was 16, I bought it for like $2,300, $2,400. And I put over 500,000 miles on that thing. Ran perfectly until I got in a wreck. And that's when everything kind of started falling downhill for it. Nowadays, I don't think you can get the same kind of quality in vehicles. Man, they used to say you could take an old school truck, run it through a house, and it's still going to drive and be okay, be safe on the road. Now, and I know it's a joke, but nowadays, new cars, you run into a stop sign and it's almost total.
Yep.
Like, just the quality of everything for some reason has just gone to crap.
Money,
you know?
man. Money. You know what I mean? It's a lot cheaper to build a car that's gonna tear up when it hits that first crash, opposed to, you know, building it the way they used to. And they switch more so over to, you know, fashion and style, opposed to, you know, what you really need.
Yeah.
More like
But I mean,
cars now,
the
they
lack
got
of quality
the,
in anything,
fiberglass
though.
and whatnot, you know.
Like, you take, I think the quality of a lot of stuff in general, whether it be electronics, whether it be vehicles, clothing, it's like the quality.
All the way down to food, man. Because it's like this. In the 80s, you know what I mean? It's like certain things that I remember, they were made from what they were supposed to be, what they were. You know what I mean? They didn't have a whole lot of artificial this, artificial that in it. And so what they did, instead of using the direct parts of those fruits and vegetables and things like that, they started breaking everything down and only using certain things so that they could stretch it. And so once they started doing that, man, the quality just started going down. Nothing's the same anymore, man. It's no more. Well, if you get something with actual real cane sugar, you're gonna pay for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's crazy. Man, one thing that I didn't know, but apparently, like, real legit Parmesan cheese is expensive. Like, it is really expensive. So all that Parmesan cheese we get, graded up and stuff in the stores is not actually legit Parmesan cheese.
I buy a block of Parmesan and grade it when I want it. I grade it myself.
It's expensive though, ain't it?
Hell yeah. That block is the same size as a normal, little normal square cheddar block. About the same size. And I think I paid about $3 more.
Yeah, the Italy Parmesan
$3
cheese
or $4 more.
is crazy expensive. Like, I'm trying to look it up now because I remember I watched a thing on it and they were talking about like, of course it ain't showing the price on here. But no, I guess, man, I guess I'm living in the old days. Yeah, a wheel of Parmesan cheese, like legit, is anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000.
Oh wow.
That must be for a brand.
Yeah, like the legit Italian Parmesan cheese.
I mean, why? What would make it that expensive? It's still just a block of Parmesan.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not, and I'm not going to be able to afford it to tell you why. So maybe if we make it big in the music, maybe I will be able to see why it is. But
we'll do like, hey, this is expensive cheese samples.
Well, I mean, to me that just sounds like somebody putting a price on something because you know what I mean. It's actually Italian, so we're gonna say it's $1,500. But it's the same shit.
It could be
right here.
Yeah, well, it could be the same thing. Like you said, the name, Gucci. Apparently, from what I heard about with all these designer brands, basically they're made in a different place for cheap, and then they send it over to where the brand company is. They put their logo on it, and then that's how it's made.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I shop at Costco, man. I love Costco clothes. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Man, I love anything that I feel good wearing.
Yep. And man, it's not, I tell you what, my wife works for Natera. It used to be NGK. Well, it's still NGK. They just changed the name. And man, they have a clothesline. And man, their clothes are unbelievably comfortable. Man, they feel good. I got shirts and hoodies from them, and I wear the same hoodie. I got one that's not a zip up and then one that is a zip up, but I like the non-zip up one because it's just bigger. But man, I've had that hoodie for a couple of years. It's still lasting, no holes, no tears in it. And, man, it's warm. I love it, man. I need to get me some sweatpants from there if they sell them. But, I just have a whole thing of clothes of that if I could. That's quality clothing. And of course they're a little bit more expensive, but man, they're worth it though.
I've never gotten clothes from Costco.
Oh yeah, no, Costco, I buy sweatpants from there. They have some really good sweatpants from Costco. Shirts are pretty good too. Socks are decent. I go through a lot of socks. I don't know why, but for some reason the heel of the sock gets a lot of holes in it. So to be honest, I just go buy the cheap ones from Walmart. Because even if we get more expensive ones that are a little bit thicker and everything else,
Still gonna get holes in them pretty much.
Still get holes in them for some reason. I don't know if it's because of the way I walk or I don't know, but so I just throw the ones out when they get holes in it and just go buy some more, because you can get a pack of 12 socks for $6 at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
And everything's so expensive nowadays. Hell, 12 socks for $6 ain't bad.
Nope. See, it's funny. I'm only in shoes or boots when I'm working or when I'm on the bike with my kiddo, but otherwise I'm in flip-flops. Shorts, flip-flops almost all year round, except for if it gets down to the teen temps, and I might throw on long pants, but otherwise, like cold weather, I'm in like the zip-up reflective hoodie,
Yeah.
It's like, because I'm in the truck, so it's like I'm not, as long as I'm not outside and I don't, or not outside too much, then I could get out and freeze a little bit while I'm hooking the trailer up, but then I'm back inside in the warmth again, so it's like, but my kids and my wife give me crap all the time. They're like, yeah, Dad, his shorts and flip-flops all the time. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
You
I
try to
wear
give me a hard
Crocs.
time, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So I wear Crocs. I'm a diabetic and I have neuropathy, and neuropathy sucks. But I also have wide feet for some reason. And man, Crocs have been, I started wearing Crocs and I tore my Achilles tendon and I couldn't put nothing back there on the back of my ankle or whatever. And then so we went and got Crocs. And man, I wear them every day. They're wide enough for my fat feet. They're comfortable. And so I wear Crocs. I know a lot of people make fun of people wear Crocs, but man, I love them. I put them in sport mode. Take off if I need to go do something. But I do have tennis shoes and boots though. But for the most part, if I don't have to wear them, I'm wearing Crocs.
Yep.
And I even got a little pair that's kind of winter friendly, because I live up in Michigan now, and it snows, and then it gets cold. And I have a kind of a wintry pair of Crocs. And so they work, but most part I have to go out in some boots.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw those reels by that one. I think he's calling Bash the Entertainer or something. Like a big black dude. He was doing like one of his reels, I guess, was showing different pictures of random, either weird pictures or weird products, and one of them was like a combination of a Croc with a heel. And he's like, woohoo, Crocs and heels. Creel.
That would be weird. Creel.
He just starts doing his high-pitched laugh. He's like, I was like, oh, man, just laughing because of his laugh, And it's like, oh, man.
That's funny, Creel.
No, I haven't seen him.
I'm trying to figure how that would work in my head. Oh, the whole point of Crocs is making sure, you just sit back and relax. Man, do y'all remember them old pair of shoes? I remember when they come out, they were so popular, everybody had to have them. But they're not even really shoes. They were, I guess, the original Croc, or as far as I can remember, Birkenstocks.
Birkenstocks, oh yeah.
Man, when them things come out, they were like $100 and something bucks. I remember my brother got a pair, and everybody, I was like, oh man, I'd love to have me. Of course, shit, I couldn't afford none of that. I think my brother's girlfriend actually bought him a pair.
I think they're still out there. Because I've still heard about them. I think you can still buy them and stuff, but they're kind of more like sandals.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
but,
yeah, because when you first buy them, there's just a flat bottom, right? But then after you warm a while, you basically, the indentation of your foot become the sole of it. And so if you wore somebody else's Birkenstocks, it would feel weird because, where their toes and everything was, is, you're walking in somebody else's footprint, basically.
Yeah.
And so, old Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
You said you've never heard of them?
Cheap flip-flops, man. But yeah, you should look them up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I think they're still out there on the market being sold, because I don't think they ever got rid of them.
They might have. Or they might do. Let me. I'm gonna look them up and see. Because I
I
know
haven't heard
they
about
were
them in a while,
super
but
expensive.
I
Birkenstock.
think
Here
my
we
mom used
go.
to wear those a lot.
Yep. There they are. Ooh, they actually look like they got some good ones. Oh, dude, they got some Birkenstocks that it's got like little fluffy things at the bottom for the winter
Ah, that sounds
that
cool.
actually look like Birkenstocks. It's like slipper things, but it's like walking in fur or something. But then without the
Ah.
back part, of course.
And I don't think they fall apart on you because of the way they're built, from what I remember.
Oh, well, no, yeah, they last forever, but I mean, I'm looking at them now. They're $169.95 for a pair of regular
Ooh.
Birkenstocks. Yeah. And
I'll
so
let Ricco,
back in the
I'll
day,
let
they
Pete
was,
buy those.
yeah, they was 115 back in the day because I used to work at a shoe store, and I ended up getting fired because I almost got into a fight with a cat. Which pisses me off because he started the fight, and then shit went down. I got fired and he didn't, but I guess because I was the aggressive one and stuff. I was 16, 17. He run his
Nice.
mouth, started talking some shit, and I think I smacked him or something. I can't remember what happened. And apparently if customers see that happening, it's a big deal for them, so they gotta let you go. I'm trying to remember what all happened. But I wasn't, and I know he had to say something bad because I was never really I'm still not an aggressive person. Like, you got to do something really foul for me to actually get mad and upset. I'm trying to remember what he said. Most of my fights were people saying something about my girlfriend. I remember when I was in high
Nice.
school football practice, we was going to a football game. Guy was running his mouth about me. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. And then he started running his mouth about my girlfriend. That's what pissed me off. And then this is what actually caused the fight is everybody heard it and was talking about it, and even the coaches. And nobody stopped him from talking and doing all that shit. And then, of course, people started getting in my, oh, you ain't going to do shit. And then after the team meal, I sat there and waited for him. And as soon as he walked through that door, that's all she wrote.
Oh, yeah. So basically, it's egged it on, kind of.
Yeah, and that's what happened because it sat there over time. It was about an hour for listening because we ate our meal. It happened before we ate meal. We ate our team meal. Of course, everybody's talking about it during the team meal. Instead of the coaches actually coming up and just, trying to de-escalate the situation, they were just sitting there listening to it, and didn't do shit about it. And then, yeah, that sucked. And then I think, I didn't even get to play the game. We was playing against McGill too, and I think that, and I actually went to the game because, after the fight, they wanted me to apologize and then, do a shit ton of, punishment running. And I was like, no. I was like, the fact that y'all didn't do anything about it and y'all just sit there and let everybody do what they did, pissing me off and all that. And so I said, I ain't doing shit. And so I quit.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I think that was my junior year, so I didn't even play my senior year in high school football. One thing I hate is I quit band. Man, when I was in middle school, I threw shot put and track, and also played in the band. And man, I had band practice and track practice at the same time, right? But my best friend at the time, me and him both threw shot put. And so I'm like, hey, I can either go and spend an hour at track practice with my best friend, or I can go in a band and, because he had me play tuba. I was playing trumpet and then they needed a tuba player, so I ended up playing the tuba. But I really didn't like the tuba. And so it was kind of like, go and play in this band and go to band practice playing the tuba, or go out and have a good time just throwing a shot put around. And since we were shot put in the track, like when other people were running, we just got to walk around the track. And so like they didn't need us for running. We just needed to be strong to throw the shot put, right? And you know what is embarrassing and funny at the same time is one of our track meets when we went to, we went up against a female, and she beat both of us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and apparently shot put is just not about raw power, but it's also about technique and spinning, and we didn't have the technique down, and apparently she did, and she threw the shot put further than we did. Man, you know how embarrassing that was?
Ooh, man.
Man, it was so embarrassing because you in middle school, people laughing their butt off and everything else. You got beat by a girl. Man, it was so embarrassing. She, no lie. She didn't beat us by a little bit either. She beat us by a decent amount. And so, because shot put, you get
girls
two throws.
are really good at that, man. The girls that do it, they're usually really good at it.
Well, the thing is yeah, being able to move. A lot of it is about using, well, at least from what I know, is basically because people spin and turn, and it's about using momentum more than anything. And I was always big and bulky. Like when I was in middle school, I was bench pressing 275 pounds. Like I was stronger than crap. And a lot of times, man, technique and, not being so big is better in certain sports, and being shot put, being able to move and use that momentum is actually better than just standing there and trying to lift off with brute force. Now brute force did a lot playing, I played offensive lineman in football, and so that was really good for me being strong. But no, that shot put, man, it was so embarrassing getting beat by that girl. But anyways, going back to the band thing, I didn't show up, and the band teacher knew that I missed band practice to go to track, and man, he cussed me out in front of a gym full of people the next day, and man, my pride hit me, seeing that, and so I said I quit. You ain't gonna cuss me out in front of everybody. And so I quit band, and it sucks though, because if you look at it, I've taken music this far in life. It would have been a lot better if I'd have just could have swallowed my pride at that age, and just been like, okay, and then forgot about track. Cause I knew I wasn't going nowhere, but at that time I got to spend time out in the field, walking around the track and just throwing shot put around with my best friend. And it's like, hey, we just chilling out here. Cause I think we did a lot of the practice during school. And so, like, not actually after school, because football practice and stuff, you do it after school, but the track stuff, I think we actually got to do during school. And so you talking about skipping class, just walking around outside, shooting shit with your buddies.
Soccer in high school, and was also a bowler, but, it's like, I would have loved to take, go pro and whatnot, but never, it wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
Versus like my brother went into the Army, and he actually played soccer for quite a bit. He did the 20 or whatever years and retired and whatnot, but he was playing soccer for the Army the entire time. And I'm like, yeah, I would have loved to do that, but I had too many things that happened when I was like a teenager and early on, where like blow your ankle out or whatever, and then it's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to play very well.
I was too short. My brother was a great athlete. He was a great football player too. Like, he done offensive line. I remember we went to a college, Southern Miss University. They had a summer little program to where your high schoolers they spend like a week or two or whatever. At the camp. It's a camp, football camp. So, cause we stayed in the dorm, they had like a little dorm area. And it was just, whoever paid to go to the camp could go to the camp. And me and my brother went, and I think a lot of people in our football team went. And my brother got like the offensive MVP. I can't remember if it was just the offensive line MVP or the offensive MVP. Cause my brother's he was a hellacious offensive line. He's just a great athlete, you know what I mean? And the coach told him, was like, look, man, if he was taller, like, we could sign you right now, but you're just not tall enough. So my brother's like 6 foot or maybe a little under 6 foot. Couldn't nobody pass him on the defense. Like, he was blocking everything. Nobody could handle him as far as getting by him. And then, they was like, and then I'm shorter than my brother, and I'm not even as great as an athlete as my brother. And so I knew there was no way in hell I was going to get signed anywhere. I'm 5'10". I was super strong. I mean, I think at the end of my high school, when I finished the football thing, I think 315 or 320 was what I was max bench pressing. And that was my junior year. And so I was always super stout and strong. But my height, you know, I knew I wasn't, and I don't even know, I think I might have been playing football just because it was a thing to do. It was part of my family's tradition. My brother did it. And so I kind of followed behind what my brother did. Us living in Alabama, we were big Alabama fans and stuff. And hell, I don't even know if I actually liked playing football that way. I think it was just something to do. You know what I mean?
Although I wouldn't have complained about getting paid millions to play a sport.
Yeah. That ain't no lie, man. Yeah, that ain't no lie.
Versus like, you know, some of the actual professions like police officers or teachers that really don't get paid anywhere near enough. You know.
No, they don't. You know, I actually thought, well, the teachers up here actually make really good money. I didn't know. I thought it was like, you know, from what I've been hearing forever, but the teachers up here actually make pretty good money. Some of them actually make 6 figures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would have never thought that. My wife was telling me about it.
I guess it would probably depend on their, like, education level, like what degree they have, you know?
Yeah, could be. And well, he's talking about elementary teachers too, though. Like, we're not talking about college professors. But then at the same time, I know other teachers that say they're only making like $40,000 a year, and there's no way that. I definitely think teachers should make more money than that. Because the thing about being a teacher too is a lot of times the schools can't even afford a lot of the supplies, and so sometimes the teacher. Well, I know back in the day the teachers used to have to fork out of their own pocket a lot, but nowadays the teachers just have, or the schools have, I know this happens for us, is basically, the parents are required to buy enough that way all the students can have something. So when you buy stuff like crayons, markers, pencils, you're actually buying enough, and they keep it in school. Like her supplies that we buy actually go to the school. It don't go to us. So like all that stuff that they got stays in the classroom. And I think a lot of it is so that way people can have it. Cause of course, you know, there's going to be the less fortunate that don't have all the stuff. And I'm fine with that, man. We will spend more to make sure that kids who can't have, you know. I don't think kids should ever go without.
Hell yeah.
And so so that's why we don't have a problem. And so we don't have a problem buying extra stuff. That way kids will always have what they need for it. And so, but yeah, man, cause my wife is part of the PTA here, and hearing a lot of the stuff about, and you know what's so weird is some parents actually complain. They got enough money raised and they had over money. And so they actually, took and spent some of that money to go and refill up stuff for the teacher's lounge, like making sure the teacher had coffee, teachers had, different stuff for them. And then, like, parents literally complained about money going towards the teacher stuff or different stuff at the school. It was weird. I'm trying to think about how exactly. I don't know if they had the issue, but they ended up having to refund some of the money or a good bit of the money back to parents because of, I guess they didn't like the way that the money was spent at the PTA, but it was basically spent towards making sure teachers had stuff. Like, the teachers deserve, man. You know, I couldn't be a teacher because because it's like this. I make sure that I teach my kids discipline and respect for people. And it's always good for me when the teacher's like, hey, your daughter's so respectful. She never back talks. You know, she's always trying to behave and she does her work. And then, you hear about all the other kids going crazy, jumping around, cussing. Like, kids have been cussing in classes since my daughter was kindergarten. Like, I remember the first time my daughter come home and said the F word, and that we were sitting down having dinner, right? We're sitting down having dinner, and we're having a conversation with daughter, because I always am like, tell me about school, what's going on, because I want to make sure nothing bad is happening to her at school. And I forget how it come out, but the F word rolled off the tongue. I'm like, oh. And then my wife's face just like in shock, and I'm like, did I just, like, hold up, tell me what you just said, like rerun, back the conversation. And she goes back, and I'm like, yeah, she said the F word. And I'm like, well, let's talk about this word real quick. And so, had the conversation. And this is when she's in kindergarten. Now I wasn't ready for this in kindergarten, right? I'm thinking, okay. And then, and over the years I've been teaching her, I'm like, look, people are going to be cussing around you. I don't want you cussing. I said, the reason a lot of people cuss a lot, and if people use this cuss word all the time, it's because they lack intelligence and they don't have the vocabulary to use anything else. It's like, I want you to be able to replace all these words instead of just throwing out cuss words, because depending on how you say it and what you say, people are just going to think you trashy. And so, yeah, and, and so with that being said, I couldn't be a teacher, because you how can you really discipline somebody else's kid? You really can't. Like back in my day, if we did something like that, I remember when I was in kindergarten, I was getting beat with like a paddle baseball bat. They had a little
they paddled back then.
a foot wide paddle that was like a half-inch thick, and it had like a little baseball grip. Yep. And man, bro, and what's so bad is they would whip you with it, and they would send you right back into class crying in front of all these other kids. And man, they did that. They did that. I can't remember, but I remember at some point they would instead of because Miss McDonald was the main paddler. I remember Miss Day was one of my teachers, and she didn't want to do the paddling. So she sent me off to another teacher to get paddled, and then I had to come back to her class. And so it's weird, because I felt like Miss McDonald was following me around. Because when I was in kindergarten, she was a kindergarten teacher. Because they keep the kindergarten first, second, third. Like, they keep the closer numbers. Back when I was in elementary school, they kept the closer numbers. So like kindergarten was about first grade, second, you know what I'm saying, in the same hallways, etc. And I felt like Miss McDonald following me around, because kindergarten and first grade, she was a kindergarten teacher. When I moved to second grade, she was then a third grade teacher. And so second and third was right there by each other. And her third grade class was right by my second grade class. So when I acted up, I got sent right across the hallway to get beat by that woman. Oh man. And then what's made it even worse though is if you got a whooping at school, you got a whooping at home. You're my dad's not going to let nobody show him up and discipline him. My dad made sure to be, and I think my dad overdid disciplining by an extreme amount, but then at the same time, I have to appreciate discipline, because I think one of the reasons I didn't go off the way where I could have been was because of all the beatings and stuff I got. Yep. And so yeah, back in the day, man. And so I remember, if she wasn't there, or if the teacher didn't have time, or if you pissed them off enough, they would grab one of them wooden rulers with a little metal strip at the end and put your hand out and just start beating the piss out of your hand till it welled up and everything, man.
See, we ain't get that right there. They ain't do that, but we got the paddling. But our principal did the paddling back then. Nobody but the principal.
No, the principal didn't do none of that. The principal didn't do none of that. We got whooped by the teachers. And I tell you what, though, I'd rather have that whooping than that somebody sitting there just beating the piss out of your hand. Because, man, that hurt, dude. And you're talking about they hit you 5, 10 times, bro?
School stuff.
No, it wasn't
like
Catholic
school.
Yeah, no, it was W.C. Griggs Elementary School, man. It was
So you know those nuns, man, they pop you with them rulers quick.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I couldn't have been a Catholic schoolboy. I was too cute of a kid.
I've actually got a little bit of experience in a Catholic school. Like I went from like elementary, I think I was in third grade, I think, when finished third grade at elementary school, and my younger sister was really smart, so she actually got tested and basically was, clear to like start kindergarten at 4 instead of 5. So, um, going off to that school, there I was like, well, I want to go. Yeah, I want to go with her. I was like, okay, yeah, we can send you over there. So 4 was fine. I had a good teacher. The year went pretty good. Got good grades, whatever. When you have an actual like good teacher that actually, because as a kid, I guess I was kind of a little bit of a slower learner. They had that, not really a learning disability, but it just took me longer. And so I needed the more one-on-one attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a good teacher in third grade, but then when I went to fourth grade, because it was like a Catholic school that went up to fourth grade, but for whatever reason, they added a seventh grade into the school. They didn't have fifth and sixth. They had or kindergarten through fourth, and then seventh. But the same teacher that taught seventh taught fourth. So I came into fourth, and she was combining. And I know you're talking about like cussing and whatnot. A lot of times I'll be like, she was fucking doing it. Like, I'll admit, I cuss like a sailor type thing. Yeah, I try not to, but it happens.
Yeah.
But I was getting seventh grade work in fourth grade and was failing everything. Because of course, like it's 3 grades higher than I couldn't understand any of the work. And this teacher is one of those like, I didn't get beat, but I got detention so many times because of like stupid crap. Like, in detention for us at the school was like coming in, like school started at like 7:30 or 8. Detention, you had to come in at like 4:30, and basically you're cleaning everything, you're mopping, you're doing all the grunt work, and then you're doing crossing guard duty when all the kids start coming in. So like I would do little stuff. I think she just hated my guts. She just didn't like me or whatever. Because I would drop a pencil or cough or sneeze or make a noise. Detention. What? Ah. And so like it happened quite a bit to the point where I think I got in trouble at home because like the 4th or 5th time in the matter of like 2 weeks I came home and basically it's like kind of like creeping into my dad's office or whatever, and my dad just looks at me and is like, "What?" I'm like, I got detention again.
See, what happened was
That was not a very fun conversation.
Nope.
See, I think I kind of I didn't get beat, but probably more so when I kind of told him that than never by a teacher. But he had rightful reason to be pissed off at me. It was like the 4th time in like a matter of like 8 days or whatever that I had to go to the school at 4 a.m. or whatever. It meant that he had to drop me off. But I mean, complete BS stuff, just like cough or drop a pencil on the floor or something, disrupted class somehow, I guess, and she basically would just say, "Detention tomorrow." Oh, no. My parents are going to kill me.
That's funny. Yeah, I always deserved my detention at school. Like I got ADHD bad, and I had it as a kid. And I know I did Ritalin for a little bit, but we didn't. Like my dad didn't approve of it or whatever, so I didn't take it. So from the kindergarten, so yeah, I got a lot of whippings in school and a lot of whippings out of school. 'Cause I had the ADHD, but I also would follow suit with people. And there was a guy named Adam. I can't remember his last name. But we went through all the schools together, right? Because same grade, and so I don't know if he had ADHD yet, but what we would do is in kindergarten, me and him would just get up, like he would get up and take off running around the class. And so I'd follow suit and do the same thing. And so you got to think you got kindergartners and first graders that just get up and start running around and chasing each other,
Damn.
And so like I couldn't imagine being a teacher, man, having to deal with all that. But a lot of the whippings I got in school I deserved. A lot of the, well, I don't know, the whippings were too extreme, but like, the detentions I got, I deserved. Like, I went to detention a lot, and then a lot of times I could get away with them not knowing because both my parents worked, and they worked till like 5 o'clock, and so we would get out at like 3:30, and detention was an hour. So I would get there, and so I would run home, and I only lived like 5 minutes away. Like that elementary school was only 5 minutes away from my house. So we would have an hour of detention, and I would run home at 4:30 and make it. I'd beat my parents home, and I wouldn't say a word to it. Try to make sure my chores were done. I'd be working on my homework.
Why are you limping?
So,
what's going on?
Yeah. And so it's, man, but, yeah, no, I remember when I was in second grade, like I said, cause we used to walk to school, cause it was only like 5 minutes away. At a steady walk pace, it was 5 minutes away. And when I was in second grade, I saw my brother hiding one time behind a little shed we had. And I was like, "What you doing back here?" And so he was skipping school, and I didn't notice him before here. And I'm like, "Well, no, dude, I'm skipping with you, man, or I'm telling." And so, me and him skipped like half a school year. When I was in second grade, we would skip during the test, and I don't even know how we passed. Like we literally passed. We missed half a school year, and we literally passed. To the next grade, but we would take and we would just like we had a basketball hoop behind the house, we had football, like we had stuff to do during the day. And back then we would drink out of the water hose. Like, so there was a water hose in it, so we had water. We just used the bathroom outside. Like, you know, there was stuff to do. And I remember one time we went off to the woods and we went into a little pond and we lost track of time. Well, my parents ended up coming home early one day, and they went up to school because they're like, "Where's our kids at?" And they was like, "Well, they didn't come today." "What do you mean they didn't come today?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, and here's their attendance record. They haven't been to school for the most of the year." Oh man. And we were walking down the road and we see my dad's truck. Boom. He sees it. He slams on the brake because he heading in one direction. He sees us and then just boom. And then my brother tries to pitch a lie like, "Yeah, no, we were trying to take this guy home," in which he's walking in the same direction we are, which is we were coming from the opposite direction of the school. So the lie didn't even make sense. You know what I mean? He's like, "Nope, I didn't talk to the school. Nope, we are." And so, the kid actually just lived in an apartment complex right across the street from us. So I can't remember, my dad took him home or he just finished walking home. And so we got beat so bad. Man, we got beat so bad. And then after that, we got suspended from school for skipping, right? And so my aunt's watching us, and like on the second day or third day, the final day of the suspension, me and my brother decided that we're going to run away from home. So, because during the suspension, we're doing work, like we're doing nothing but all this work that we had to make up and everything else. And then so there's a window in the kitchen. Me and my brother open up the window, climb out of it, and then there was a little space that we could crawl under the house. We crawled under the house. My aunt finally noticed we were gone, called my parents. Everybody's searching for us. And what we're doing, so people are looking for us in the neighborhood, right? And me and my brother are running from like bush to bush around our yard, just making sure nobody finds us, right? Like we're literally just playing hide and go seek, moving from tree to bush to tree to bush from under the house. And then one of the neighbors, Mr. Claude, happened to be driving down the street. He's looking for us too. And my big slow butt couldn't keep up the pace with my brother. And so he happened to see me, and then we got busted the call. And then my dad's like, "I'm not going to beat y'all this time, but let me tell you a story." And I forgot the story he told me, but it was something about his dad, etc. But, and so it's funny and weird because of the fact that, yeah, we was playing just hide and go seek, running away. Like, I don't know what our end game goal was. Like, we were just literally running around our yard from bush to bush, If they was one way, we would be the other. And then, yeah.
Not over here.
I was in second grade, yeah. And, man, that's nuts. We was bad kids. Let's say bad kids. Yeah, we were, yeah. My poor mama had it worse, man. She went through a lot of crap.
Well, shoot, fellas, I'm gonna have to get on off of here and plug up.
You know,
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah, man, I've enjoyed it.
So, like, do you already have like podcasts in mind that you're thinking about, or like you just kind of like getting ideas and thinking about it right now, kind of?
Well, for me, I've been trying to put a podcast together. It's been hit or miss. I remember me and my buddy was going to do a Christian podcast, and then he just wasn't able to, I guess the times conflicted or whatever, and so it never got off the ground. I think we did one or two shows, but we did that through Discord, and we were just going to take that stuff and then put it on YouTube. And me and the same guy, we're hoping to get, I guess, kind of just the general stuff, because with like Fame, me and Fame, we'll have discussions in our Facebook chat, and they're really great discussions, and it's something like, man, this would go good on a podcast. And me and my other buddy have the same discussions, you know, in the Facebook chat, and it's like, or when we're playing Xbox together, it's like, too bad we couldn't be streaming, playing, and also having these discussions, because there's a lot of things, you know, if you can have a discussion with somebody, and everybody have their own opinion.
You can stream your gameplay and have a discussion on Twitch.
Yeah, you can. You just got to have it, you know, you got to have that set up to do it. And then plus, you know, what happens is you do it and you have it done, and then it's kind of like, well, we could have done it this way, but then you don't have another discussion or topic, because me and him ain't played games together in a good minute. So it's kind of like you have one good thing and then you don't play or do nothing together for like a month or two, and then it comes back. It's like, oh, we could have done this. I think the biggest thing is just everybody having the same time, you know, because it's kind of like, okay, well, if we're going to do this at 10:30, because he's like 3 or 4 hours behind my time. So like, right, you know, if we do it at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's what, 4 a.m. his time. And so it's like finding the right times and stuff. But I just want to be a part of a podcast, do something, have discussions and talk, kind of like what we're doing now.
Well, you know, that's kind of why the Raw Chat segment of my podcast kind of came into being, because me and the other trucker friends would randomly get on calls, and they'd have other guys that would call in, and we'd just be, I think we, you know, some of them were like you said, like you'd have the conversations going where we're like, man, like we really like should record this or whatever. And it took me a while to figure out how to do it, because I tried multiple recording apps, and some of them you had to download different little extensions on your phone, and they still didn't want to work. But then I learned you could do it with Google Voice or whatever. It took a while to figure out how to do that. But now it's like literally Google Voice. Once I have the recording, you can go in there and you download it, and it downloads as an MP3 to your phone. So it's like, and then I just upload that, and that's for the segment right there. But this kind of format like we're doing today is pretty awesome. You know, I could totally see how just having either having you guys on a real talk, or having a call on a podcast, something else, and having it just be popping on phone calls like this, you know?
Yeah,
that
would be awesome.
Probably incorporate your music, you know, put like music together for it or whatever. Be like, you know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good coming up with ideas to try to talk about. But I've been I've kind of just been going back, really just clicking on the raw stuff, and I'm like, man, it kind of sounds, you know, like the show is kind of like, hey, let's just get on and talk, and then whatever comes up, comes up. So
yeah.
I'm not going to try to force something different. Yeah, and so I don't want to try to force nothing different and be like, hey, let's just keep the flow of how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, it works for raw chat or for real talk because basically the real talk is just my whole motto is keep it real. I'm not gonna lie to you, bullshit you, whatever. I just literally I randomly most weeks I just kind of might be inspired by a certain type of a topic to talk about. Usually it's related to whatever might have happened that week, or you deal with deal with driver issues, or you deal with people being stupid, or or whatever, or just something that people might benefit from, and I pop on and do this week's topic is, and then just go on about it. But this honestly has been a little bit. I would say this is been one of my favorite real talk ones because of the fact that just keeping it real with you guys and whatever. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah.
But
so y'all want to do this again next Saturday?
Yeah, I'm down.
Hop on for the next Tuesday episode.
Yeah, what's the Tuesday episode? What time do you do it on Tuesday?
No, that's when I publish them, but I usually record them sometime throughout the week. So like we're recording right now, it'll be Tuesday night when I publish it or whatever,
Okay.
But yeah, hey, if the real talk episodes are us talking, hey, that's cool too. It's a lot better than me kind of trying to come up with something.
Yeah, let us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
All right, well, we have my special guest, Fame, and oh shit, I can't hear.
Bach Gooey, yeah, Bach Gooey, just Bach. They call me Bach.
I appreciate you guys, and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
look
sir.
forward to
Yeah,
doing
buddy.
it again. So join us next week again when we jump on here and do this again, guys. All right, man.
All right, man. Same time, same channel.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
buddy. Yeah, have a good week.
Later. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Hey guys, your friend Chris here, and I hope you enjoyed that because that was actually Ricco and I talked about it afterwards. And he was like, "That was actually really fun. I really enjoyed it." I talked to Barry, and he really had a good time too. I said, "Yeah, it was awesome." I know one thing that I want to figure out how to change. I don't mind the calls, but when I'm doing them with my headset, I feel like it makes me sound different versus like how I sound right now recording just on the phone, or when I record with my computer and my condenser mic. I feel like it's my authentic voice, but when I'm hearing myself on a call, I sound kind of like, you got that mechanical sound, because you're on a headset being recorded, but it should still sound like this versus like, "Oh, how's it going? Oh yeah, it's really cool. Oh yeah, that kind of sounded different, So, hope you guys enjoyed, and this might be a regular thing. I know Ricco and I have talked a little bit about it, as far as like making this a weekly thing and just being real talk, hang out with Ricco, myself, and Barry, just keeping it real, talking, whatever, So, if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, feel free to email blodgetshowpodcast@gmail.com. And pretty soon I'll go ahead and get a support link set up for anybody who wants to support the show. But on that note, I will look forward to talking to you guys next week, hopefully on another real talk raw conversation. Obviously it's not going to be raw chat since we already have a raw chat, but I'm trying to brainstorm and kind of figure out how I want to go about it, what direction I want to go and stuff. So stay tuned, and if you enjoyed it, come back next week. But before then, don't go anywhere, because coming up next will be this week's episode of the Raw Chat segment. On that note, you guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you then.